Hi guys, my name is Verstine. I'm co-founder, co-owner of Truth or Talk. I'm making this video because I talk about a multitude of subjects on this channel, but I think most of my subscribers know that my big passion right now is vaccine and the heated debate that's going on in this country and the mandates that they're not trying to only push around the country but all over the world. So I don't really see a lot of people that call themselves conservatives talking about it, or truthers, because it's just such a heated topic that I think a lot of people don't really want to touch it, or they don't really know, or I also feel like they're conservatives that are a bit hypocritical because they'll say that they don't agree with censorship, and but when it's something that they don't like, then it's okay with them. No censorship means no censorship all around. I'm not advocating for the pro-vax lobby to be censored. I'm just advocating to get my voice out there and being heard and giving people information, because I don't really think people get informed consent. So the debate ended pretty amicably, I thought, and I'm gonna show you a clip because this is what happened, like at the very end.
You should, if you want to know, yeah, I'll post everything that I talked about in the links. It's going to be a lot, but I'm trying to sift through all this and
send me an email with all of the links, and they'll all go in the description.
Okay.
Because I want people to be able to look into this. We obviously disagree. You have your points, I have mine, but I want people to be able to see the different types of things that there are out there. I always say that people I disagree with, I want to have a bigger microphone, so people can discern for themselves what the truth is.
Okay, so you just saw him agree that he would post my links, they would be in the description. So I sent him after the debate, I thanked him for being on. I wrote in the description saying I'm getting my links together, I'm going to post them within the next couple of days. I did, and he never posted them. And then I sent him a text, I emailed him, no response. And then somebody went on and, said that, hey, she said where her links, she said she put them up there. And he responded and he said, oh, she has a ton, I'll get to that. And he never did. And that was 4 months ago. So I've given him 4 months. I think that's pretty genuine. Not genuine, but pretty generous, right? 4 months? Yeah. 4 months. 4 months ago, right? If he's not worried about, if he's, confident in his side, is in his argument, why won't you post my links? Okay. Now what I'm gonna do, so I'm doing this to have a debate or show my slides. Basically, I'm gonna put slides and clips and stuff because I don't feel like I was given a fair chance. Because there are a lot of people, it makes it look like I'm bad too. If I said I was gonna do something, but it looks like I didn't, then that makes me to look like I'm a liar and a charlatan, and I'm not. So this is another reason why I have to kind of reclaim my my stance, and just, I was gonna let it go, and then I started thinking about it. I was like, no, that's not cool. He even said that he let me post my links, and he didn't do it. So it's on now. It's on. I'm gonna call this dude out, and please don't go to his channel on my behalf to insult him or harass him, because I'm not condoning that, and I don't want him to say that I told people to go and harass him. That's what I'm not doing. If you want to, you can comment on this channel as much as you want, okay? Just leave him alone. Technically, he has a right to post or not post whatever he wants to, but I'm just showing the hypocrisy. And this whole vaccine things, people are so brainwashed. I feel that they think that during the debate, I didn't get mad, I just tried to keep my focus, but I noticed they pulled out all the stereotypes, all the stops out of the stereotypes that they thought about, like what anti-vaxxers were, and it was just it was really frustrating in that sense. So like I said, my beef's not with Dustin or the frog guy, but I want to give, I basically want people to watch this and get the information that I've been trying to let them know, and then they can make their own decision. I just think that people aren't given a chance, and it just makes me really frustrated with somebody, that has a channel and talks about the injustices that the left has put upon us, that goes around and basically does the same thing to me. So it's really messed up. I'm really disappointed, and I really hope you liked the debate, because this guy's going down. All right, guys, talk to you later. Peace, truth, and love. Bye. Mwah.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 214 of Halsey Live. It is debate night. We are going to be talking about vaccines, and we have my co-host and moderator, Dustin Gold. We have my very honored guest, Verstine, who is joining us. I don't know if you want me saying your last name out loud, but it is an honor to have you here. We are looking forward to a very spirited debate. I'm sure the chat, who's been talking about this for a few days, is also very excited. How are you tonight, Verstine?
I'm good.
Excellent. Excellent.
And Verstine, what is your YouTube channel? How do people follow you? Check out some of your videos, and what kind of stuff do you normally talk about, just to let the audience know?
My channel name is Truth or Talk. I mean, we talk about a host of things. We talk about a lot of the political climate. We talk about vaccines a lot. We talk about anything that's really not being talked about in the mainstream news, because there's a lot of stuff that we're being lied to about. So,
and everyone knows Halsey English. Halsey talks about Jewish issues, modern politics, history, and of course, transgender operations.
Yes, we've made it an issue that we talk about that all the time. In fact, we've been told to knock it off.
So what we were going to do is tonight, and this issue is on vaccines. You know, good or bad, or where we may end up somewhere in between. It's not an issue that I've studied or researched a lot. I've heard other talkers, talk radio people bring it up, but I've never had a lot of time to research it. So I'm coming at this with no dog in this race, which is a good thing. I've got my coffee with me, my seltzer water, and my vaccines. So at the end, I'll decide if I'm going to shoot this thing or not.
what is that? Is like a turkey baster or something?
Yes, I do gay pregnancy over here, $5. So it's a mixed batch.
You're silly.
Just testing to see if cat semen will work or not.
And so everyone knows I am a participant in the debate tonight. I'm not running the show. Dustin will be running the show, and he'll have full control to shut up anybody. He can mute anybody anytime he wants. So this is going to be respectful. We're not going to be screaming at each other. But Dustin's got control over the show tonight. But
if you guys want to turn it up and blood sport this thing and fight it out, feel free. I'm not going to stop you. So we're going to start off with opening statements. And then I did a little reading on this today. I'll ask some questions. I put it into some of the Twitter chat rooms today. Feel free to ask questions if you have them. And then in the YouTube chat here as well. And then at the end, if Brian Hendricks, our evolutionary biologist who does some writing for HalseyNews.com, wants to jump on, I know Verstine said before the show she might have some questions for him as well. So who wants to begin with an opening statement? Halsey is taking the side of vaccines are good. Verstine, from my understanding, is that vaccines are not necessarily good. So who would like to begin, the guest or the normal host of the show?
Ladies first.
Okay.
Just want you to know I'm very thorough with my prepared opening statement. Please note that. Very thorough.
Okay, so I've been researching this for 8 years. There's a common misconception that anyone who questions the safety and efficacy of vaccines is anti-science. That couldn't be further from the truth. So there's enough scientific evidence to prove that vaccines not only are unnecessary, but are detrimental to our health and evolution as a human species. The war between the pro-vaccine advocates and anti-vaccine or ex-vaccinated advocates isn't scientific, it's political. So in the debate, I'll talk about medical doctors and scientists and their lack of knowledge about vaccines, the absence of safety studies regarding vaccines, herd immunity, the ingredients in vaccines and their effects on the human body. Did vaccines wipe out diseases? The vaccine court and the financial incentive to keep people taking vaccines. Now, another common misconception is that there's consensus between all medical doctors and scientists that vaccines are safe and effective. It's assumed that medical officials and scientists are fully knowledgeable about the history of vaccination, the functionality of the vaccine, adequate safety studies of vaccines or lack thereof, the contents of a vaccine and its side effects. That's fallacious. The general public isn't being told the truth about the dangers of vaccines. This violates the Nuremberg codes, and thus I consider the lies and propaganda we are fed about the safety and efficacy about vaccines to be a crime against humanity that must be exposed.
So I heard something about fellatio in there. Was that correct?
Yes.
All right. So that was, hey guys, you're going to learn a lot because basically I had no clue what she was talking about. No, so let's go to Halsey now on the side of vaccines are good.
I would happen to say that my position is that vaccines are one of the greatest things that have been introduced into the human species since the dawn of medicine.
One of the greatest things that have been introduced into the human species. We have been on Earth for hundreds of thousands of years. Vaccines have only been around 200. How do we make it this far?
We have cured multiple diseases, and I will also be happy to debunk almost everything that she is going to say.
Oh yeah, debunk me, baby. I'm flipping scared. I'm shaking in my flip-flops.
As I have also a strong background in the things that she's going to say, I know most of the case law, and I would be happy to do so momentarily.
Yeah, okay, if you say so.
Now let us begin our little dance that we do.
Okay.
So where do you want to begin with this? I mean, basically, I read an article, and I know this breaks down.
Okay, so let me direct your attention to the chat. Let me hit Phil the second says, talk about chemtrails too, probably. LOL. This is a vaccine debate. I don't know why we'd be talking about chemtrails, but, again, with the anti-vaxxer stereotypes, which is a reoccurring theme throughout this debate. Just watch.
Down into, there's many different vaccines, so it's hard to talk about it in generalities, right? Yeah. I mean, if you would have to break it down between, MMR, the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, and then there's all these different ones, and then you've got flu, and then you've got stuff like mercury and aluminum that have been introduced in some of the vaccines. It's really complicated. It's nothing that I could learn, in a day. Mm-hmm. So where do you guys want to begin? Where do you think is a good place for Steve?
Let me see. Medical doctors and scientists and lack of knowledge about vaccines.
Okay, so let's start with that. It sounds like a good place to begin.
So I noticed Halsey sent me an article on the anti-vax.
Yeah, an article with every anti-vaxxer stereotype in the book, but whatever.
It was called it was anti-vax, the evils of vaccination or something like that. And you said that you thought that it represented both sides fairly.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
What did you say in the text?
I just said it represented both sides because it had one side trying to refute the other side. I just said that you can see what both sides are saying. I didn't mean anything towards the validity of it. I was just saying.
What did you say? You said okay. So I mean, it was very interesting because it was just a very it was a very common argument that about what people who are pro-vaccine advocates think people that are anti-vaccine or ex-vaccine advocates are. Plus, I wanted to find the term anti-vaccine and ex-vaccine. Ex-vaccine or ex-vaccinators is a term that most people give to themselves that were once pro-vaccination and are now against vaccination or critical of vaccination. And anti-vaccine is more of a pejorative that's been given to people that are, by pro-vaccine advocates. So I'm just going to make that distinction. But
let me just add, for the general public, the layman that would maybe have just heard this through pop culture and never really researched these topics. I mean, most of the anti-vaccine would be attached to celebrities and stuff that have spoken out about it, right? I mean, for people that haven't looked into the subject.
I guess I would just say just anybody that is critical of the safety and efficacy of vaccines. So they'll just be like, oh, anti-vaxxers. So it's usually used as a pejorative, where ex-vaxxers are more people that have taken the stance of being critical about the safety and efficacy of vaccines, but they are very just what am I trying to say? They feel like it's like an ownership.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you want, we can use my.
So would a Robert Kennedy Jr. be? He's an anti-vaxxer, correct?
There's some people that are critical of the safety and efficacy of vaccines, but they don't consider themselves anti-vaccine. So I don't think that he considers himself an anti-vaxxer, just to be respectful. Okay. I don't know his stance, so I don't want to label him and say that he is, but he's
no. I was just going to say if he.
Yeah, no. It's a good question. So he's very critical of only one aspect of vaccines, and that's the mercury in the vaccines and aluminum. He's done a lot of research into heavy metals and regarding vaccines. So the things that I've seen him talk about, and I haven't really followed a lot of his work, but what I've seen him talk about has really been regarding that and some of the legal issues.
Ebo in the chat says, polio needs to make a comeback. Wow, I've never heard that one before. Very original.
And stuff regarding vaccines.
Because I know he used to talk about mercury in fish as well. That was one of his big things for a while. But I was just going to say, if vaccines caused his speech impediment, I'm against vaccines right now. I'm done with it.
I think it has to do more with his throat. So it seems like I don't know his diagnosis, but it's more throat. I know.
No.
Okay, I'm going to do some inserts talking about injection which is vaccine versus ingestion, which is eating mercury, and the difference between methyl mercury and ethyl mercury.
Dr. Tom Burbacher performed an experiment on monkeys to compare injecting thimerosal to eating methyl mercury.
Whatever process that's going on in terms of moving the mercury from the body to the brain is actually happening a little bit faster with the thimerosal.
Both ethyl and methyl can wash in and out of the brain, but over time they convert into an inorganic form, which locks into the brain and accumulates. And ethyl would do this much faster than methyl.
The first time that we looked at the thimerosal animals, the majority of it was already inorganic.
In the end, the thimerosal-exposed monkeys had twice the amount of inorganic mercury locked in their brain.
The 0.1 microgram per kilogram per day is not a good standard for ethyl mercury.